The views and opinions on this show do not necessarily reflect the views of ESPN Tucson 1490 AM, 94.9 HD Channel 4, or the Arizona Lotus Corporation.
Welcome to Spears and Ali on ESPN Tucson.
Justin Spears, I like that.
With Justin Spears and Ali Farhang on 1490 AM, 94.9 HD Channel 4, ESPN Tucson. Brought to you by Tucson Federal Credit Union, the Volpe team at Nova Home Loans, and Rightway Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
I want to be entertaining, but I'm not stupid enough to compare myself to Ali.
What is good? You're listening to Spears and Ali here on ESPN Tucson, 1490 AM, 94.9 HD Channel 4. We are streaming because, it's 2025 and everything is streaming nowadays. We are on ESPNTucson.com and also the ESPN Tucson mobile app. Make sure you download that. We've had some upgrades on the mobile app in the last year or so. Go check us out there. It's my preferred way of listening to ESPN Tucson, and it's pretty damn cool. So download the ESPN Tucson mobile app today off the App Store and Google Play. Huge thank you to our amazing sponsors, the Volpe team at Nova Home Loans, Rightway Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, and Tucson Federal Credit Union. And I just got to give another shout out to Rightway Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing once again, because they were over at Casa de Spears yesterday fixing yet another leak. Had one in my master bathroom, and now this one, the latest rendition of the leaks at Justin Spears' house, is underneath my kitchen sink.
Fun.
Yeah, not what I wanted to be dealing with. Whenever I turn on the water, water just starts coming out the bottom, and I reached out to Rightway Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. They came out. They took care of it. I went and got a new sink from Home Depot. That was something new that I did. Felt like a real adult. I'm like, man, going sink shopping. Okay, let's do it. Went, picked out my sink. All right, let's go home. Had the Rightway guys all set it up. Alejandro was so great. Great customer service, was super friendly and super efficient too. He was in and out of there like it was no problem. And Rightway, they just do it right, man. It's in the name. It's truly something that I'm very thankful for. They are so great at what they do, and they also take care of themselves, or they put booties on their feet so they're not tracking dirt into your home. When they leave, it's like as if they weren't there. And now I got a brand new sink thanks to Rightway. So shout out to Rightway Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing for always taking care of your boy, and they can take care of you. Check them out at rightwayheatingcoolingandplumbing.com. All right, so we got a fun show for you today. Today is Hump Day. Ali Farhang is on his way. My guy will be joining us here. My man got a little tied up this morning. So, yeah, he'll be stopping by the studio here in a couple of minutes. We are going to talk to Saul Bookman, my guy from All City Network. And Saul is currently in Colorado Springs for the Team USA basketball tryout camp, all that fun stuff up there. And Tommy Lloyd, as we all know, the head coach of the Arizona Wildcats, is coaching Team USA, getting ready for the FIBA U19 World Cup. And it looks like Koa Pete is not only going to make the cut, but he might be maybe Team USA's best player. He looks pretty damn good. And all the reports out there from Colorado Springs suggest that this guy, Koa Pete, yeah, he might be the best freshman in all of college basketball next season. It's pretty damn good. Might even be Arizona's best player next season. But Saul Bookman, he's up there in Colorado Springs, has had the chance to talk to Tommy Lloyd, has had a chance to talk to Koa Pete and some of the other players around there. And so we're going to get a report from Colorado Springs, talk about Team USA, Arizona Wildcats with Saul Bookman at 7:40. And then at 8:25, we're going to hear from our guy, Todd Walsh. Todd Walsh is up there.
Todd, man.
He's the best, man. I love Todd. We're going to definitely talk some hockey with Todd, get his thoughts on the Stanley Cup final, and also maybe, if we have time, pick his brain about the Utah Hockey Club and see if he missed his beloved Coyotes down here in the Valley. And then we're going to talk some Diamondbacks too. The D-backs are currently in Toronto right now. Tough loss for the Snakes yesterday. They lost 5-4 to Toronto. Freaking Bo Bichette and Addison Barger hit back-to-back home runs off of Shelly Miller in that ninth inning. So, yeah, D-backs had the lead, and then they blew it in the ninth inning. Tough game for the D-backs. But, hey, they were red hot going into that game. They came into that contest. I think they won like 5 out of the last 6 games. So they were doing okay going into this game. But man, that 9th inning was an epic collapse by the D-backs. But the D-backs, they return today. They are going to have Eduardo Rodriguez on the mound, and he's taking on Eric Lauer. So, D-backs still in Toronto. We're going to talk to Todd Walsh, who's going to call in from the 6 at, I think, 8:25. That's what we're going to get Todd on. And then for all of you Arizona football fans, you don't want to miss out on the top of the 8 o'clock hour. We're going to hear from Arizona defensive back Trayden Stukes. And Stukes is a very fascinating story because he is one of just 3 guys on the Arizona football roster who was recruited by Kevin Sumlin. Yeah, he goes back to that regime. He was a walk-on in 2020, became a starter, became a mainstay in Arizona's defense, and then eventually became a team captain and was a big part of the fumble return for a touchdown in that Alamo Bowl. Of course, Gunnar Maldonado was the guy who returned it, but Trayden Stukes was the guy who was one of Maldonado's blockers going down the field. So Stukes has a big hand in one of the most important plays in Arizona football history. And Stukes became a great defensive back. You know, Dwayne Aquina last year called him the best kept secret in college football. And then he gets hurt against Utah, injures his knee, has a season-ending leg injury, and is out. But, you know, kind of a blessing in disguise because last year was supposed to be Stukes' last year playing college football. Because he injured his leg in the 4th game of the season, he played in 4 games, got the medical red shirt, was able to preserve a year, and then is now going to come back for his last season of college football. This is why I love that red shirt rule, because I think it sucks that, you know, if a guy plays in a few games and he gets hurt, he should have the ability to just bag that year, come back, and save another year. And so fortunately for Arizona, they're going to get one of their defensive captains back in that defensive secondary, and Stukes, Genesis Smith, Dalton Johnson. That's a pretty good nucleus back there in the secondary. So, yeah, we're going to talk to Trayden Stukes at the top of the 8 o'clock hour and just talk about his career at Arizona and how he projects going into this upcoming season. So can't miss that interview at the top of the 8 o'clock hour. So, yeah, that's our show for today. If you want to be a part of the conversation, hit us up at 719-1490, 719-1490. Also, don't forget this hour and next hour, we're giving you guys chances to win destination vacations. Hey, who doesn't want to go to Maui or Iceland or Japan or Portugal or Venice, Italy? This week, we're giving you guys chances to win trips to Venice, Italy. So listen this hour and also next hour and all throughout the day until 6 p.m. for a keyword. During a commercial break, you will hear Andrew's sweet, silky voice. He's going to give you a keyword. And then once you hear that keyword, text it to 520-719-1490 for your chance to qualify for that week's trip. Like I said, this week is Venice, Italy. The more keywords you hear and text in, the better chance you have of winning that week's trip. So listen up for the Venice, Italy trip this hour and next hour. Message and data rates may apply as well. And speaking of my amazing colleague, Mr. Andrew Trujillo, a.k.a. our in-house hockey expert, I know he's got lots of things to say about this Stanley Cup final. So once again, the Florida Panthers have won the Stanley Cup. And, of course, they did so against the Edmonton Oilers once again. Back-to-back seasons against the same opponent. And I know your amazing wife is a diehard Edmonton Oilers fan, so I feel for her getting right there and losing, not just in the Stanley Cup, but losing to a Florida team.
Yeah.
And hockey, he wants to deal with that. But interesting enough, the state of hockey has been kind of like the state of Florida has been like the hockey hub.
It has been
for the last decade, pretty much.
Last 6 years,
Or-
yeah. 4 of the last 6 Stanley Cups went to Florida-based teams.
Got the Panthers.
Yep, back-to-back, and then the Tampa Bay Lightning back-to-back.
Yeah.
In 21 and 22.
Yeah. So how do you feel about what happened last night and the Panthers winning?
I mean, obviously, in the Trujillo household, we're a little upset, a little sad about it, but frankly, not surprised. Florida played a hell of a series, man. This year, if my count is correct, Florida outscored Edmonton 28-17. Last year, they outscored, or Edmonton was outscored Florida 25-18. They just didn't fall the way that Edmonton would have wanted. But I think it was deserved, frankly. Florida is a scrappy hockey team. They play what a lot of people would refer to as dirtbag hockey. They just get in your face, and they're able to score at a pretty solid click. Now, whether that's them or the Oilers' defense being full of holes in the final is up to interpretation, I guess.
Hold on, enlighten me for a second. Are they the Oklahoma City Thunder of hockey?
Who?
The Panthers. Because OKC, their brand of basketball is we are going to have so much on-ball pressure, and we're going to force you to do silly stuff, turnovers, and we're going to capitalize on that and play fast, and that's how we generate our points.
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much spot on, I'd say with that. Yeah, Florida just, if you give them a lead, they will bully you until the end of the game.
Yeah.
If they are trailing, they will play their asses off to get back in it, which we saw in game 3 game 2, where they came back and scored with, seconds left to force overtime. Just a damn good team, honestly. And I say this while hating the Florida Panthers for a variety of reasons. I like them better when they sucked. But just some of the players on there I just can't stand. But Paul Maurice, Bill Zito over there in South Florida, man, they are cooking with that organization right now. And almost all their guys are coming back. Almost all of them are either on contract for next year or are restricted free agents, and they have a good cap for next year. So they're going to be right back in it, I would imagine. I don't know if, obviously it remains to be seen if they'll be in the final again. But Florida's a damn good team. And Edmonton, their defense just shut down. Where Florida was able to shut down everything that Edmonton threw at them. Sergei Bobrovsky in the goal had like a 96.6 save percentage by the end of the series, which is insane.
That's crazy.
And Edmonton's goalies combined, I think, for 89%. Just not where you want to be at all. Edmonton's defense, I mean, they also had the injury bug a little bit. A lot of people thought that they were sick for a while because they just sputtered out, honestly, kind of spectacularly. If you're a Dallas fan or a Vegas fan not married to an Oilers fan or an LA Kings fan, watching Edmonton pretty much just fall off and just completely dismantle themselves at the end of the season in the final is supremely frustrating. They essentially swept Vegas. They should have swept Vegas. They gentlemen swept Dallas and then essentially reverse swept the LA Kings. So to go into a final and only win 2 games by overtime and essentially by merit get swept yourself, that's brutal.
Yeah.
For any of the other Western Conference teams that, were vying for the same championship. That said, you have to really, like I said, I hate the Florida Panthers, but you have to tip your cap to them, man. They're out of their minds. Sam Reinhart, apparently, I don't know if this is, I haven't seen any, I guess, reliable sources that have said this, but apparently he got actually pretty badly injured in the 3rd round against the Hurricanes. He had a 4-goal game in the series clincher, which is the first in the Stanley Cup era since, I believe, Rocket Richard. And in like 57, I think. And he did that, which was the deficit they lost by the way. If Sam Reinhart gets deleted from that game, maybe Edmonton forces 7, who knows. But Sam Reinhart scores 4 goals in the series clinching game, the cup clinching game, and for at least the last 6 games, he was playing with a grade 2 MCL tear.
Wow.
Yeah. Literally the only thing worse than that is not having the ligament.
Sheesh.
Yeah, a man with 1.25 knees scored 4 goals on the Edmonton Oilers in the Stanley Cup final game 6 to win the cup.
Well, I saw he was also the guy who had the game-winning goal in Game 7 a year ago.
Yep. Sam Reinhart.
So Mr. Clutch.
Yeah. He's, if they don't throw the bag at him, which I think he's on contract for like another 2 or 3 years, but he is definitely someone that they want to keep around in Florida. It was a great series, man. I really can't complain too much. at the quality of play outside of the fact that Edmonton just decided to kind of sit down and I don't know, breathe out and die for the last 2 games. But it was fun to watch, you know. Stanley Cup playoffs are some of the best playoffs in the world.
Absolutely.
And that trophy, I mean,
It's the best trophy in sports.
It really is. And guys are so willing. I don't know if I want to say like more so than other sports or anything, but hockey players are built different, man. And they will, if their joints are working, if they can move, they will play. And as you see with Sam Reinhart playing with a busted up knee, or back in 2019, Zdeno Chara playing against the Blues with literally a jaw broken in 2 places. My guy sipped protein shakes and applesauce for a week to play in the last 3 games with a busted jaw. It just, at the risk of sounding like an SEC football fan, it seems to mean more to them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it was a great series to watch. Didn't go the way I would have preferred it to go, but Florida's doing something right, man.
Yeah.
They are potentially a dynasty, especially with the, you know, the contracts. Like I said, everybody's coming back. We might see more cups in Florida in the next few years, which is vile.
Yeah.
That pains me to say.
Florida, of all states, and this is now 32 straight years that the Stanley Cup trophy, the Stanley Cup has not gone north of the border.
Yeah.
Stayed down here in the United States of America.
Brutal.
Wow.
I feel for Oilers fans, man. They wanted it bad. They really wanted it bad. I feel bad specifically for Mama Stanley, who was a fan who would go to every Oilers game, stand in the fan pit outside, paint herself silver from head to toe, and wear a cup on her head, and had a sign that said "Believe." She's an older fan, and she was there all the time. They would make sure she had tickets, make sure she got into that because they wanted her front and center. Feel bad for her. Feel bad for all the other Oilers fans. Feel bad for my wife.
Yeah.
But, you know, it is what it is, my friend.
If they ended up winning a couple more, I mean, we got to start talking about them as, you know, one of the top dynasties in like Florida sports history. Like when you think about like the U, right? Mm-hmm. The U football, the Miami Dolphins from back in the 70s. There's also, you know, the Miami Heat with LeBron and Dwayne Wade. So Florida Panthers entering a unique territory.
They are. And they have more cups than my Knights now.
Damn, man.
We slap them in 3 years ago, slap them in the final, and then they come back and they're just like, no, we want 2 now. God, I hate the Panthers, dude. Oh, yeah, looks like we got a phone caller.
All right. 719-1490, 719-1490 is our studio line. Efren, thank you so much for your patience, man. Sorry to keep you waiting. What's on your mind today?
No, my mind is that I've been listening to you guys because I work graveyard. I just retired 2 weeks ago after 51 years of service.
Hell yeah.
At a retail store.
Heck yeah,
I
man.
just retired.
Congratulations, Efren.
Efren.
Congratulations, Efren.
Well, I thank you very much. And I've always listened to you guys because I get off at 7 and I listen to you guys all the time. And I say, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot and try to call and tell the way I feel about the Arizona basketball team, the baseball team, football team. Because I don't know if you guys remember Fred Snowden.
Oh, of course.
Of course, Fred the Fox.
The Fox. Do you remember Cornel Norman?
Yep. Well, I don't remember him, but I know of him, yes.
What was his nickname?
Oh, man. You tell me.
Popcorn.
Yes, and there was Eric Money, Jim Rappas, Herman Harris, John Elliott, Bob Elliott, and those were good times.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when David Stegman hit a home run against Michigan State or Michigan, I can't remember, in the playoffs to beat Michigan. I can't remember that. But I enjoy hearing you guys every morning.
Man.
Well, now that I'm retired, I went to the store to go buy breakfast, and I said, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot. And I'm on
Hell yeah.
So you guys are good.
Efren, Efren, thank you so much for the kind words, and thank you so much for the support. It means the absolute world to me. Well, I got to ask you, what's on the menu for breakfast, man?
Chorizo and egg.
Oh,
damn straight.
All right, we're going to commercial break, and I'm going to go by your house. All right, Ephraim. And Ephraim, more importantly,
Yeah, you're welcome anytime you want. And then if you want tacos, I got tacos too for lunch.
oh man, I'm hanging out at Ephraim's house for a long, long time.
Justin's moving in. Hope you got an extra bedroom, buddy.
I'm here. Ephraim,
No, you guys are good. I really appreciate hearing you guys.
hey, thank you so much, Ephraim. And more importantly, congratulations on 50 years.
I can't hear you guys in the morning because I'm asleep.
Okay. Well, hey, sleep in, man. Now that you're retired, you could do that all you want, man.
No, man, wake up. Wake up. You got things to do.
Oh, man.
Ephraim, you're
Oh, man, I did 51 years of service.
man.
You're earned to sleep in or two.
Yeah, you should sleep in. But hey, check in from time to time, all right, Ephraim?
Sleeping on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
I got up at 4 o'clock this morning.
That's awesome. Ephraim, congratulations on the many, many years of service, and thank you so much for always listening to us, man.
I appreciate it, and I appreciate you guys too. And I will call you guys back tomorrow.
Hey, call back anytime, brother. We love to hear from you. Thanks, Ephraim. All right. My guy, Ali Farhang, joining us in studio, and he's got a cool jersey.
Yeah, he does.
Let's talk about that jersey coming up next.
Yeah, buddy.
Welcome back to Spears and Ali here on the ESPN Tucson mobile app and also ESPNTucson.com and the Spears and Ali podcast. All right. So let's talk about what we got going on here in studio. So Ali came
big head Trujillo.
he came by in studio, and
I mean, Oprah's like, man, you got a big head.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Oprah, I don't know if you guys know this, but Oprah's got a legendary huge melon. Yeah. Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. She's
That's
like,
her reputation.
a reputation as they call her huge melon Oprah.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love Oprah.
But
But
that's
then
almost what they named the show.
Yeah, they did. They
Yeah. Then they, it didn't roll off the tongue very well.
well, Big Head Todd was like, hey, that's my nickname.
Well, man, Andrew, you got a big old noggin.
I do.
Andrew's trying to wear a Tucson baseball team hat.
Yeah.
So as we all know,
For
there's
our
a
viewers on YouTube. It's at full tilt too. I got this thing stretched to the max, and it comes down to about 2 inches above my ears.
All right, so that hat's not for you.
as we all know,
Yeah.
the Mexican Pacific Winter League is introducing a baseball team to Tucson, Arizona this upcoming season. And for the first year, it's going to go by Tucson baseball team.
Yep.
Until they find out a team name that's going to be voted by the people here in Tucson, Arizona. So Tucson, Arizona, you will have a say in the upcoming mascot for the Tucson baseball team. But there's a press conference later on this morning at Kino, and they're going to pretty much get things started and officially introduce the Mexican baseball team here, aka the Tucson baseball team. What I'm very excited. We've been talking about it ad nauseum, how exciting it is to have professional baseball back here in Tucson. And Ali's rocking a sweet jersey.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right now in studio.
Yeah, man. Excited. And had a nice reception last night. And the press conference, as you said, is going to be today. And guys, baseball's back. Baseball's back in Tucson. And Mexican Winter League is high-level baseball. I would say better than the major leagues because there's parity. And,
What's that?
Yeah, right. Because Major League Baseball sucks right now with the disparity in payrolls.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, shut up. Dodgers. Dodgers.
Yeah. Well,
So-
he can't understand it because it's in Japanese.
Right. Right. And everything's deferred into the, year 2820. Yeah. But it is really good baseball. Some of the it's going to bring a high level quality baseball to Tucson, Arizona. And the ownership group really excited to be here. A lot of people in this community been working for years to make this happen. And it's really exciting to have baseball back in Tucson. And it's just the beginning, guys. I told you with the World Baseball Classic, that was going to be something that we were going to utilize in order to get baseball back in Tucson. It happened. And then just hold on to your butts. We'll see what happens in the spring.
Ooh.
Like with training?
Like with training, buddy.
Oh, man. All right. Speaking of baseball here in Tucson, Arizona, we do have some news on the Arizona baseball front. Arizona pitching coach Kevin Vance has now taken the head coaching job at San Diego State. So Arizona will now need a new pitching coach, but maybe not, because according to multiple reports, John DeRuin, who was an assistant with U of A this past year, working with Kevin Vance, he's expected to get a promotion. So that's what's currently reported. My colleague Michael Lev from the Arizona Daily Star, he put out a story on Tucson.com. You can also check it out in today's edition of the Star. And he noted maybe Nathan Bannister, who used to pitch for the Arizona Wildcats. He's currently the pitching coach at Grand Canyon. As we all know, the Lopes have been pretty good over the last couple of years. So maybe they look at Nathan Bannister coming back home. Cameron Ming as well. He used to pitch for the Arizona baseball team, was a part of the 2016 club that lost to Coastal Carolina in the World Series. Every single time I hear his name, I think of Flash Gordon, Death to Ming.
Oh, yeah.
Cameron Ming.
How the heck do you know that movie?
Dude, that kind of blew my mind.
Yeah. Did you actually watch that movie, or how do you know these things that you don't actually have any idea about?
He's about to back out.
You didn't.
Can I be honest with you?
Family Guy.
Close.
Yeah.
It's the same creator, though. Seth MacFarlane, the movie Ted. Flash Gordon is in that movie.
Good God,
And,
man.
but after that, I started to dive more into Flash Gordon, and
But you haven't watched the movie.
I haven't seen it.
The way you talk about things like of course, Death to Ming, Flash Gordon. Oh no, I've never seen the movie.
Well,
I watched another movie about a teddy bear that smokes pot, and they referenced it.
Well,
and then so I Googled some stuff, and so now I'm gonna talk like I know the movie.
Well, no, in the movie they get into it with a neighbor, and Flash Gordon looks at the neighbor and it's like, Ming, and then goes back to being Flash Gordon and gets into a fight with this guy.
Cult classic. You're not allowed to talk about it like you've seen the movie, okay?
But anyways,
Yeah.
Cameron Ming.
Or I'm gonna make you stick your hand into the scorpion pit, and you don't even know what that means. Yeah.
So yeah, maybe Cameron Ming is a guy that Arizona can look at. But regardless, they're going to have to replace Kevin Vance. And Kevin Vance was a big part in the rise of Arizona baseball under Chip Hale. Pitching was excellent the second Kevin Vance got to Tucson. Last year, Arizona baseball had the best strikeout to walk ratio. They also had the fewest walks in college baseball. So the improvements in the pitching is obviously clear as day with Kevin Vance as the leader. And he also had a big part in getting Arizona to create their pitching lab over there at High Corbett Field.
Yeah.
It's called the pitching wing.
I thought maybe I just read it wrong. I thought the decision had been made and they were hiring internally.
Yeah, that's that John DeRuin guy that I was just talking about.
John DeRuin, yeah.
Yeah. So
is that not a done deal?
That is what is reported. It's not announced, hasn't been finalized yet, but
not solidified.
But I think it's smart to make this transition ASAP, because if you can promote him, John DeRuin, he's familiar with Owen Kromkowski. He's familiar with Smith Bailey. Both guys are coming back. And then you have the transfer portal as well, that period coming up as well. So to maybe prevent guys from going into the portal, have a familiar face step up and be the pitching coach, I think is very pertinent. So,
man, if you can keep those guys, you got the job.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Also, real quick, another Arizona baseball news. Mason White, Aaron Walton, Brennan Summerhill, and Colin McKinney are participating in the Major League Baseball Draft Combine this week up there in Phoenix. Still the possibility to come back to Arizona. All right. Coming up next on Spears and Ali, we're going to talk to Saul Bookman from All City Network /PHNX. He is in Colorado Springs attending Team USA's basketball camp. We're going to check in on Koa Pete and Tommy Lloyd coming up next. Team USA basketball currently training in Colorado Springs, and here to give us a report on Tommy Lloyd and current Arizona Wildcat Koa Pete is our guy Saul Bookman from All City Network and PHNX. What's up, Saul? How you doing, man?
What up, Justin? How you doing, man?
Great, man. It was a good time golfing with you this past weekend in Flagstaff and Sedona. You've golfed at a lot of places. Where does Flagstaff and Sedona rank as far as places in Arizona?
I mean, the course we were out in Flagstaff was okay. It was all right, but the Sedona was fantastic. So
Yeah.
I would say Sedona was probably top 5.
Did you guys enjoy the 10 minutes you spent together on Friday?
What do you mean 10 minutes?
Well, I mean, one of you was around for 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah. I was like, what are you talking about? Oh, man.
Yeah.
But
no comment.
Yeah.
No comment.
But Saul, we're talking
5 for fighting, right? Yeah.
But Saul, we're talking to you about Team USA basketball up there in Colorado Springs. Tommy Lloyd is the head coach. Koa Pete currently balling out for Team USA. How has Koa looked? How does he look compared to some of the other players? What's it been like up there in Colorado?
I mean, he's physically gifted, so he's not overwhelmed physically. I think he's honestly one of the bigger players. And he just looks the part. He looks like, he's definitely a leader on the team, which is something that I thought was a nice surprise, because you do have some other more experienced players in terms of, the age and experience at the college level that are on that team. So he's just, he's one of the best players on the team by far. Him and AJ Devanza are just, they're just the 2 best players on the team, flat out.
Yeah.
It's pretty clear as day, and they have a great relationship as well. It's been kind of cool to see those 2 kind of connect. You can tell that those 2 know that they are the 2 best, and they constantly seek each other out, and they're very competitive. And Koa has just been. He's just such a smooth player, relaxed. He never feels rushed. He's always in control. He knows exactly where everything is supposed to be, when it's supposed to be there. Half the time he feels like he's a coach on the court as well, because he's trying to get players to be in the right position. A lot of the times he's been featured at the top of the key and kind of initiating some of the offense. Like, I'll tell you what, man, he is just impressive in every facet of the game.
Saul, I know, going to U of A practices, Tommy does a lot of things, not like actual play on the court, but like in between, segments that he's running or after practice, that presents an opportunity for these guys to build what I call chemistry. How's the practices run? These guys are all coming from different places from across the country, and fairly soon they're going to be competing at the highest level, U19. Against the world's best. What have you noticed that Tommy does to try to build that kind of chemistry so that these guys are really together when it really matters?
Well, it's a little bit more unique in the Olympic setting, because they practice twice a day. So in terms of like on the court stuff, probably not too much. He does mix up the practices from doing drills to doing 5-on-5, and then bringing it back down to doing 2-on-2 with key focuses on different things and mixing it up. But the cool thing has been is his relationship on the offensive side, and then Grant McCaslin's relationship on the defensive side, and then Shrew's kind of being like a player whisperer for anybody that maybe is struggling or not understanding some of the concepts that are going on. So in terms of like building chemistry on the court, I think that he has kind of identified like certain 5-player groups, and those 5 have been playing together for a couple days. But I don't know if I would buy into the fact that those 5 will be locked in as the 5 that he'll be using at certain portions of the game. So I think in this instance, there hasn't been too much of the chemistry building. I think he's waiting for the cut down from 18 to 12. And then once he gets to that 12, then he'll start to really, the point of emphasis will be on that. But while I was there, I didn't see too much of the chemistry building. It was more just like day one on Monday when I was there. It was more of a lot of individual work, 2-on-2 work, 3-on-3 work. and then coaching the schemes and the principles that they want to use. And then day 2 was more of just using those principles and schemes in live action, and getting out, like on the fast break, how to run the break the best way, how to get into their sets off the fast break, and things of that nature.
Saul, this is maybe not the correct question for you because you're so knowledgeable about basketball and you're so well informed, but is there a guy that you didn't know about going to Colorado Springs that's kind of surprised you in a good way?
Oh, yeah. Caleb Holt. He's a 6'4" guard from Georgia. You know, I was as Shaq would say, I was not familiar with his game, and he's been outstanding this whole time. And then there's another guard who, to me, he was my favorite player watching him, because I don't know why I'm a sucker for lefties. I think a lot of us are, because they just make everything look so damn easy.
Yeah.
But Jason Crow, 6'2" guard out of Inglewood, he has yet to commit anywhere. He is as smooth as they come. His shot from the perimeter is just, I feel like he didn't miss all weekend, and he could score at different levels. Defensively, he wasn't overwhelmed, even though he's only 6'2", pretty skinny kid. But man, I really like that player. And if I had my 2 cents, I would have told Tommy, like, hey man, you should. I don't know what kind of ability you got to get this kid, but man, I would love to see him in an Arizona uniform. So those two guys were pretty fun to watch.
All right, Saul, before we get you out of here, just thoughts on the NBA Finals now that, you know, it's going back to Indiana. Do you think the Pacers can figure out a way to get back into this series, or do you think it's Oklahoma City's finals?
Well, I want to say that it's over, but the crazy thing about TJ McConnell is, you know, if you doubt TJ McConnell is going to get you. And I'm not going to say it's over. I think TJ McConnell, you know, is going to have to play a lot more now that Halliburton is suffering the calf injury, and I think that he can easily carry that load and raise his team to where it needs to go, because, you know, his passion and his energy are just so infectious, as we all know. And so I'm kind of interested to see how this next game is going to play out, because there's so much that Indiana can still do. They can still play at a high level. They still have elite scorers and shooters. It's just about finding that consistency. And with Halliburton kind of being thrown in that mix and not being able to play at the high level that he's accustomed to, replacing him with a TJ McConnell, I think, could be a key to keeping that consistency on the court, so they don't fall behind so fast in the first quarter or turn the ball over 9 times in the first 4 seconds of the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Saul, being the victim of the Spears curse, where he says,
man,
good putt before it goes in and it's short or lips out every time. After he does it, after the first time, he's doing it on purpose, right, Saul?
This is the second time I got by this guy. I just want to let you know. First time was, you know, listen, it's kind of like, what is it, Beauty and the Beast? Oh, no, Snow White, where, you know, you can't eat the apple, man. And, you know, I ate the cookie. I thought the cookie was good, and it was not good. It was not good. And so, you know, anytime Justin Spears says, hey, you want a bite of this? Just don't. Because it's not going to end up good for you at all. You might find yourself waking up somewhere that you didn't realize existed.
Another member of the Justin Spears Jinx Club, Saul Bookman.
All the putts were, I was like, they were going in. I was like, oh, nice putt. And they would just stop as soon as I said it.
Oh, I tell you what, Justin has this unique ability to absolutely curse every single putt that ever existed that was about to go in. Every single putt that was about to go in was going in.
Yeah.
Until he just, and then that was it.
Yeah.
Oh, nice putt.
Don't compliment. Justin, stop complimenting anything I do from now on, ever. Thank you. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
We'll do.
Yes.
We'll do. All right, Saul. That is Saul Bookman, our guy from All City Network and PHNX. Saul, have fun up there in Colorado, man. Always appreciate your time.
I did want to say, Ali, the sunken place does exist, and I found that out last weekend. So there you
go. Thanks a lot, Saul. Appreciate it, man.
Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. I'm giving you a hug right now.
All right. Coming up next, let's wrap up hour number 1. Stay tuned. Blue Moon presents the 17th annual Iron Chef Tucson competition and culinary experience on Saturday, July 26th at Desert Diamond Casino's Diamond Center in Sahuarita. We've got Anthony Dromgoole looking to defend his title. He's from Oban Sushi and Ramen, and he's going up against our next guest, Chef Mackenzie O'Leary of Tanque Verde Ranch. Mackenzie, thank you for stopping by.
Good morning.
So you are going up against Anthony Dromgoole, and because you are how you are going up against Anthony Dromgoole is because you are the winner of the Meet the Chefs event
Yes.
at Desert Diamond Casino's Diamond Center. Take us through that moment, what it was like to win that contest, because the field was pretty stacked.
Yeah, no, it was amazing. It was just exhilarating being able to serve my dish, which I was saying French toast is kind of my favorite thing to make. And that's always what people ask you as a chef, what's your favorite thing to make? And mine's always French toast. So it felt like me on a plate and just being able to really serve that and just be excited. I think I lost my voice definitely by the end because of foie gras French toast, foie gras French toast, foie gras French toast, like so many times.
Yeah.
But I think people really enjoyed it. And we got really great feedback. We had people coming over to our booth like multiple times and just like indulging in the French toast, and it was perfect.
I understand that Justin was standing by your booth the whole time. I'm wondering if anybody else got that French toast other than Justin. And my second question is, with the name Mackenzie O'Leary, did you just at one time say, do you have to let it linger? Move on, Justin. Do you have to? Do you have to? Yeah.
Do you have to?
I'm sorry.
I'm such a fool for you.
I was like, yeah,
You
you're.
finished your sentence.
Yeah.
So sweet.
We do that. We do that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that.
It's marriage of convenience, though.
But
Yes.
your French toast,
We're sticking around for
what
you.
were all the ingredients in that?
So it was a beautiful egg cream that had sherry and chive and all kinds of deliciousness, like savory flavors in it.
Okay.
And then it was soaked with French toast. Sorry, it was croissant dough that was baked and then soaked overnight in that beautiful egg cream with a brown sugar Parmesan like butter base.
Good God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the foie gras foam was actually in an ISI gun, so it was like a really nice, light, airy, beautiful flavor behind that foie gras.
I was wondering, we talk sports and sports is competitive, and sometimes there's a little bit of smack talk. When you guys get together and you're competing in this competition, is there any chef smack talk?
I don't know. I'm not for me. I'm just smiling in my pink glitter shoes. Like, come on, let's do this. But I think definitely when we're practicing and we're making the dishes, there's a lot of like smack talk in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Like if we had done that better, like, oh, come on, like, and when we're practicing and when we're in our free time. But the culinary environment is just so positive here in Tucson. It really is.
Do you think you're going to tell Anthony Dromgoole, hey, man, good luck. You look fat in those pants, and then move on?
Well, when I was on Chopped, my line was "Hold my glitter, I'm coming for you."
Oh,
So
I
I'm
like
just gonna stick with that one. I
like
think.
it.
Oh yeah. Ollie, fun fact about Mackenzie. So she grew up in Los Angeles. She grew up in the Beverly Hills area, and she lived right across the street from Carrie Fisher.
Oh,
Yeah, Princess Leia.
Princess
I know
Leia.
who that is.
How was that?
I know who that is.
Oh, it was beautiful. Yeah, no, the house was lovely, and the environment was awesome. So it was really fun growing up in that environment. And once you kind of survive Beverly Hills, you can do anything, like meet the chefs and win.
Wait, and your dad was really good friends with Chuck Norris?
Yeah, Daddy and Chuck Norris.
What did your
besties.
What did your dad do?
He was a political novelist. Like he wrote like a lot of political books, and also was a big fundraiser for like the political side of things on the more conservative side.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, Chuck Norris, man. I mean, that guy. You need a problem solved.
Yeah.
Chuck
Right.
Norris, man.
Chuck will do it.
He
Chuck
doesn't
will
mess around.
He doesn't mess around. And then Mackenzie's father will write about it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
So how did you start cooking?
Oh, I moved out to Tucson, and I was starting off my life kind of like a stay-at-home mom there for a minute, and I needed to cook for the family. So I started watching Martha Stewart every day on TV, and she was like, make everything perfect. And I was like, okay, I'm going to try. And so I did. And so I started making all of her recipes, and she was really the inspiration behind me getting started.
Excellent.
Well, before I knew you, and I just met you today, with all sincerity, every time I've been to Tanque Verde Ranch, the meals have been spectacular.
Perfect.
So definitely, you guys want a staycation this summer? Tanque Verde Ranch is a great place to stay. Also, the food is excellent because Mackenzie's there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, please come out and see us.
Yeah.
And how did you get involved with Tanque Verde Ranch?
So I was at Miraval Resort and Spa beforehand, and I live really nearby the ranch, and I've heard really great things about it, and I love the history. It's like 156 years old, and that's amazing. And so when I got the opportunity to apply for the executive chef position, it was a really great fit. So now we've done a lot of banquets. We get to do a lot of wine dinners. We have a wine dinner next week, and I'm really excited about it. So it's been really great.
How many competitions have you done?
I've done Chopped, and I've done this.
Okay.
The Meet the Chefs.
Okay. So did you ever go to an Iron Chef Tucson challenge? Like, have you gone to one of these
No,
before?
I've never actually been
Okay.
able to make it to one. I've heard about them, and I actually worked for John Hone, who was an Iron Chef in the past and everything like that. So I know really great things about it, and I've always really loved the idea of it. So I'm just overwhelmed and so excited to be able to be part of it.
How do you prepare? I mean, I know there's one segment where there's a secret ingredient. Are you thinking about what it could be based on what it's been in the past? What are you doing to give it your go? Give it the best you can to win the competition when it comes.
Yeah, I've just been working with my team to really be like, okay, how do we stay sharp? How do we stay on this? What are some pivots we can do? It's really hard to prepare for a competition like that, though, because even when I was on Chopped, the secret basket comes and you can't prepare for Chinese corn candy if you've never eaten it. So, so I'm really curious to see what it will be, but I really think that with our awesome culinary skills, we'll be able to hopefully succeed.
So what do you make with Chinese corn candy?
I made a gastrique.
What is that?
So Chinese corn candy is not at all like candy corn.
Okay.
So take that out of your head, because I was like, oh, candy corn. No, it was fluffy and soft and super sweet. So I basically just glazed it in a pan and made a gastrique out of it. But it was a very challenging ingredient.
I bet.
Yeah.
And with Iron Chef Tucson coming up, it's kind of like you're in an arena cooking.
Yeah.
Did you ever play sports growing up?
Oh, goodness. I'm not that sporty now. I tried softball one season because I needed somebody. But I warmed that bench so lovely. Yeah.
Cool. So how many people do you have on your team?
We have 2 people on my team, and then we have a dish guy as well, Nicholas, who's going to be swapping out our pans and moving real fast. And I've been training him on weddings, so he gets it. Yeah.
Well, go check out Chef Mackenzie O'Leary of Tanque Verde Ranch going up against Chef Anthony Dromgoole of Oban Sushi and Ramen at the 17th Annual Iron Chef Tucson Competition and Culinary Experience. This is going down on Saturday, July 26th at the Desert Diamond Casino's Diamond Center in Sahuarita. Enjoy culinary samples and drinks from restaurants all across Southern Arizona before that battle begins. Get your tickets by going to ironcheftucson.com. Partial proceeds to benefit the Community Food Bank of Southern Arizona. And all of this brought to you in part by Whiskey Del Bach and Peroni. Mackenzie, thank you for stopping by. Good luck.
You. Yeah, thank you so much.
You bring that glitter.
Oh, yeah. Hold my glitter. I'm coming for you.
And Anthony, if she says you look fat in those pants, not my fault.
All right, coming up next in hour number 2, we are going to talk some NBA Finals, but we're going to kick things off with Arizona defensive back Trayden Stukes, who talks about his injury and coming back to the University of Arizona. Hour number 2 is going to be good. You don't want to miss out. The Arizona Diamondbacks are currently on the East Coast. They're taking on the Toronto Blue Jays. Tough loss for the D-backs last night, losing 5-4. Brutal 9th inning for the Snakes. Let's talk about the Diamondbacks. Let's also talk about hockey and maybe some other things with our good friend Todd Walsh, host and reporter for the Arizona Diamondbacks. How's it going, Todd?
Oh, it's good. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate that. How are you guys doing?
Fantastic, man. And you're back in Toronto. Do you guys go to Toronto every single year, and do you like the city?
Actually, we don't go. It's every few years. I can't remember how that's changed now with the schedule. I haven't been here in a couple of years, but it's one of my all-time favorite stops. I grew up right across the lake in Rochester, New York. So as the crow flies, I feel like I get a chance to go home. And then I've been coming to the Mecca of hockey for 28 straight years. And this is just a very special place. It's a great sports town. And that stadium is just beautiful. The roof was open. The CN Tower was looming over us all night. But it's just it's a unique place, and it's great to come back.
Todd, I'm wondering, is it possible in your line of work to be a fan of the team you're covering yet still be objective, or do you have to lie about it like Justin does with Arizona football?
Wow, I don't know if I can answer that yet since I'm still gainfully employed. But look, I root for people and I root for my job to go smoothly. So my life is a lot easier when the teams that I cover win, and when you're embedded with a team like I have since the beginning of time, since 2001 with the Diamondbacks. I've been, ever since I graduated from the U of A, I've been working for rights holders exclusively my entire career, the NBA, the NFL, Major League Baseball, the NHL, college basketball, college football, college baseball. So yeah, I want them to win, but you can't help it when you're around them every day. I do believe though that, losing is just as compelling as winning, and it's a reality in sports. You can't hide from it. And I think you have to embrace that as well. And it makes me always yearn for more information. How are teams handling losing? How are franchises or programs dealing with it? So it's kind of like the love hate. It's the same power of an emotion. It's a long-winded answer to yes, of course I want them to win. My life is so much easier.
Well, unfortunately, yesterday, the D-backs lost to the Toronto Blue Jays.
Wow,
So
there we go. Debbie
Yeah.
Downer right there. Yeah.
But the D-backs are also 500. They're in a really tough division, like 8 games back from the LA Dodgers. You could be in a worse spot. You could be, I don't know, the Colorado Rockies. How do you look at this season for the Arizona Diamondbacks and what they have shown so far?
Well, I've lost the count of the number of Tommy John surgeries that this team has had to deal with. It's unbelievable. I've never been around a season quite like the one that we've been experiencing this year in terms of the injuries, and not just the injuries, but the magnitude of the guys that are gone, and they're not coming back, and there's no cavalry coming to rescue you. And then just some of the bizarre events that I've seen. I've seen a 4 home run game that they lost. They had a 10-run inning that they lost. I mean, a few epic comebacks on both sides of the equation. Last night, for example, it was a punch in the face. But they're still hanging around. And then if you listen to what General Manager Mike Hazen said just the other day on Major League Baseball and their radio network, what Ken Kendrick said on a radio station back in Phoenix, I know everyone is salivating in Major League Baseball to cherry pick the upcoming free agents that this team has. But to hear Mike Hazen say the other day, we're not trading, we're not selling, we may add. It's so refreshing. I haven't heard that in this sport in forever. So they're still kicking. They just happen to be in the National League West, which is the toughest residence that you could possibly imagine right now in Major League Baseball. But they're still within striking distance, and the next month is going to tell a pretty big story.
Man, I'm so envious of good ownership like the Diamondbacks have. As a Pittsburgh Pirates fan,
God.
I'm
all right. Okay.
Guys like me are talking about the disparity in payrolls and the lack of parity in Major League Baseball, and frankly, it makes the game's unwatchable. Is that also a topic of conversation in clubhouses and front offices?
No, I mean I don't hear that. It makes me sad though that when I have a few Pittsburgh Pirates fans in my universe, and all I hear about is what they're going to get back for Paul Skeens. That just breaks my heart because, that's a generational unicorn kind of player, right? You're never going to see another guy like that in your lifetime. And it just seems inevitable that he's going to go away. And that's just not good for the game to me. But that's not the kind of stuff that you hear about. I do know, though, I was talking to some players yesterday. I talked to Josh Naylor about what Mike Hazen had just said, and he hadn't heard it yet. But I can tell you that the room has now heard it, and they know it. And it's interesting because the dynamic was the players had a team meeting a week or so ago and said, look, we might blow this. This is a great situation, a great city to live in, a great stadium, and all that stuff to play in and work in. And everybody that's here loves the environment. And if we don't turn the corner here, a lot of us are going to lose our jobs. Well, that's motivation by fear. Now you do a 180 on it and say no, and you hear from the owner and the general manager say no. We believe in this group, and that changes the whole thing. So that's why last night hurt so much, because I kind of felt like, okay, here we go. They know they have to have an unbelievable road trip here and take advantage of situations. and they were 2 outs away, and it ended like in a New York minute. So I don't know. That's like, to me, that's the human drama of athletic competition, the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat, and that's why we're addicted to it all.
I've been meaning to ask you about this. Arizona Diamondbacks legend Randy Johnson is a photographer. He's been a photographer now for a few years. He's got a great logo, which is an upside down bird, which kind of throwing it back to when he blew up a bird down here at Tucson Electric Park. But what do you think about Randy Johnson's post-playing career as a photographer and just kind of what he's been up to in his retirement life?
It's fascinating. I've had a chance to get pretty close to Randy over the years, and I watched him do remarkable things. I used to say on every pregame show the night he would pitch, the last thing I would say before we broke for the national anthem was, "You never know what might happen here tonight." And it just, the things that I saw over the years just astounded me. But as I've watched him move into retirement, it's really strange, and I'm really happy for him because he's let his guard down. He doesn't have that burning desire to win and dominate and destroy the competition. But what he does have is the desire to be the best at what he does, and he's poured it into his photography, and it speaks to how you get basically your own wing in the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown when you have that kind of passion and intensity. So it's like the kinder, gentler Randy Johnson. And at first I was shocked. Like, wait a minute, who's this guy? And then we see him more and more, and he's getting further and further away from his playing days. And he's just a fascinating guy. And I feel really blessed to have been able to watch him play and to watch him go about his business from maybe the best seat in the house, and then to see how he's just continue to do things that intrigue him and things that he wants to excel at. He's one of one, that's for sure.
At his height, he gets angles on his pictures that most people need a step ladder for too, right?
Just like his slider. Yeah,
exactly. Todd, your favorite road stadium that you think, if you're a real baseball lover, you should go check it out?
Well, PNC Park in Pittsburgh is a sleeper. It's in my top 5. It's just spectacular. The setting on the river when the sun goes down and the skyline is beautiful. And there's great baseball history there with the Clemente Bridge, and you can't help but just fall in love with it. That's my sleeper pick. I love the Giants Park. I don't know who sponsors it anymore. I can't forget. Oracle Park, I guess it is, in San Francisco on the water. I love colder weather, believe it or not. Same park, really. It feels like the PNC. And I grew up a Yankee fan, even though I don't like the mausoleum that is the new one. When you walk in there and you look around, and it's a living, breathing, historical landmark for the game of baseball. Those are mine. I could go on and on. Every one of them has a uniqueness to it. But if you're bucket listing, I say find Pittsburgh, get out to San Francisco, and the regulars. You got to go to Fenway and Wrigley and Dodger Stadium and all that. But Pittsburgh's pretty cool. I've done a tiki ride down the river live on camera during a game. I've walked across the Clemente Bridge with a wireless mic, got into my hotel room, got up to my hotel room, looked out the window, and was still on television. Anyways, PNC Park. Go for it.
That's awesome, no, it's the coolest. And like with Steeler games, they close off Clemente, the bridge, and just throngs of Steeler fans just walking across the bridge to the stadium. It's the coolest thing ever.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree.
All right, Todd, before we get you out of here, I do got to ask a hockey question because you're a big hockey guy. What do you think about the Florida Panthers winning a Stanley Cup yet again?
I'll answer that if I can do one other follow-up. Will you give me that time off the hockey question? Because I want to give a shout-out to somebody.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'll take the trade. I think you're looking at one of the most powerful teams we've seen in decades. They have figured it out. They play a relentless style. I grew up in this game watching Keith Tkachuk when he was with the Coyotes. I think one of the premier power forwards at that time. He should be in the Hall of Fame. And when I see his son Matthew, I feel like Matthew is playing a game that doesn't exist anymore. But I watch their coverage here in Toronto till probably 1 a.m. They overwhelmed the Edmonton Oilers, and to hear Edmonton not have an answer for it was quite striking to see. This team's going to be good for a while, and when Matthews said we got to be a dynasty, he's one win away from it in my mind. So that was really important, and it was cool to see. I'm glad the Cup stays in America, though, just to turn the screw a little bit to Canadians here.
32 straight years.
But if I could say this, guys, I really want to get this out. I want to give a shout out to the Arizona baseball team, University of Arizona baseball team, Chip Hale. I went to college with Chip, and I knew him then, and I did some work for that team in 1986 and did some PA work at Sunset Field. And I was at the Wildcat House on June 9th, 1986, when Chuck Johnson grabbed the last out. And I just thought it was so cool for Chip to lead his squad back to Omaha and to see the connection and full circle moment. I know Jerry Kindle is up there beaming. I know how Jerry felt about Chip. Chip was one of the best college baseball players I ever saw. And I was always, I was a little steamed at what happened to him with the Diamondbacks. But that was just an amazing run. I know they'll be back, but I hope everybody in Tucson acknowledges and feels what a special moment that was in the history of that franchise, of the program. And everybody should acknowledge Chip and his leadership, because leadership matters. That's my speech.
Absolutely, man.
I got no notes. I'm with Todd 1,000%.
Absolutely. No notes.
No notes.
No notes. That is our guy, Todd Walsh, reporter, does everything for the Arizona Diamondbacks. The D-backs, they're taking on the Toronto Blue Jays later on today. First pitch is set for 4:07 p.m., and you can listen to that game right here on ESPN Tucson. Todd, always a pleasure hearing your voice. Thank you for joining us, man.
Thanks for asking, and say hello to everybody that remembers. And I don't have any notes either. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Todd.
Perfect.
See you.
Yeah. Class to join up, Todd Walsh.
Heck yeah,
how about that? Yeah, man.
Spears and Ali back here on ESPN Tucson, 1490 AM, 94.9 HD Channel 4, and the Spears and Ali podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. Appreciate you guys for doing all that. Man, a solid show today, fellas. Let's try to land this plane over the next 18 minutes or so. So just some local news happening. Yesterday, it was announced that Arizona baseball pitching coach Kevin Vance will be leaving the Wildcats and take over the San Diego State baseball program. The 34-year-old Vance, he had a cup of coffee playing Major League Baseball, but has gotten into the coaching realm, came over to Arizona a couple of years ago to replace Dave Lawn. And I mean, he's been awesome. I mean, he's been a key part to the pitching transformation. When he took over the pitching staff last year, Arizona all of a sudden sprouts up to the best team in college baseball for strikeouts to walk ratio. Also had the fewest walks last year. And then you fast forward to this year, and Owen Kremkowski turned out to be a pretty damn good player. Smith Bailey, one of the top freshman pitchers in all of college baseball. And then Tony Pluta, yes, I know, had a rough outing in the College World Series, but is still the stopper of the year, still named the top closer in all of baseball.
And Louisville got lucky, man.
And
it was just a couple of seeing eye singles, man. It was he jammed two guys, and it just found a spot that nobody was at.
Yeah. So Kevin Vance is a good coach, and he's 34, like I said, San Diego State alum. So this makes sense for him, becoming a head coach at his alma mater. So Kevin Vance is now out at Arizona, and the Wildcats will have to replace him. Reports out there suggest that John DeRuin, who is currently on staff at Arizona, he will be promoted to the new pitching coach. And that's a good move there because familiarity, continuity has worked with Kevin Vance. There's some things that I'm sure he has taken from him, and the players there now are familiar with this guy. So they're probably, with the transfer portal and all that facing them, they're probably like, okay, I could enter the portal, maybe follow Kevin Vance to San Diego State, or I can go elsewhere, or I could stay here and just work with a guy that I've been working with all year long, and John DeRuin.
Yeah,
it makes sense for guys like Kremkowski and Owen Bailey.
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, the thing is head coach Chip Hale, of all of his attributes, and he's got many, that make him absolutely the right guy for Arizona baseball. And hey, Arizona Athletics, extend the guy, please. We don't want another coach going into the last year of their contract, especially Chip Hale. But he is, one of his best attributes is he puts really strong, good people around him. So whoever that pitching coach is going to be, it's going to be the right person, because Chip has shown he surrounds himself with people that know what they're doing and really good at what they do. So, I'm really excited and happy for Kevin Vance. He's been great here at Arizona. Congratulations on getting the gig as the head coach of San Diego State University. And whoever fills his position, I'm going to feel very confident in it because Chip Hale's making that decision.
I also feel confident too that Kevin Vance isn't going to essentially purge the pitching rotation at Arizona. Like I don't think a bunch of guys are going to leave Arizona to go to San Diego State.
I don't see it. I mean, maybe some guys that are not looking like they're going to be part of the rotation next year, that are developmental guys that maybe can thrive at San Diego State under his tutelage a little bit further. But, let me just tell you this. If a guy like Smith Bailey transferred to San Diego State, I would be very, very surprised.
Yeah, me too.
Well, if anyone's afraid of being on TV, they'll go over there to be back in the Pac-12.
Yeah, damn straight. Damn straight.
No comments.
All right. Also in U of A news, the Wildcats football program, they're picking up some steam on the recruiting trail. They now have 13 commits for the 2026 recruiting class. A lot of these commits are coming in this month, in the month of June. Yesterday, they just picked up a commitment from Nathan Allen. He is a 6'5", 275-pound offensive lineman from Carlsbad, California. Second O lineman in Arizona's 26 class. Also joining Michael Lange, who's a 6'3", 265-pounder from Archbishop Riordan in San Francisco. So, yeah, Wildcats now at 13 commits. We just had one of the commits on yesterday, Darren Schmidt, tight end from Vancouver, Washington.
Yeah, he chose Arizona over Boise State, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Looks, Arizona football doing a great job on the recruiting trail. In fact, doing such a great job in the state of Arizona. Great job, Brent Brennan, that Dillingham from ASU was talking about they need to change their approach in recruiting Arizona because we're handing them their ass. And by the way, Arizona Athletics, congratulations. Third straight Territorial Cup, all sports. Suck at ASU.
Third straight.
I mean, we beat you in academics and athletics, but, at least you got, nothing. So, yeah, suck it.
STDs.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, anyway.
Do you know what an Arizona alum says to an ASU alum?
What?
Put the fries in the bag. All right. That's my one non-Rupert the Reporter liner I'll throw out there.
Hey, fan Justin.
Yeah.
He shows up in weird times.
Also in U of A football related news, Arizona is a finalist to land 4-star quarterback Oscar Rios. Oscar Rios is a quarterback from Southern California, plays at Downey High School, and he's currently at the Elite 11 quarterback camp. 247sports.com ranks him as the 10th best quarterback in the 2026 recruiting class. And now it comes down to Arizona and UCLA, the hometown school in UCLA or Arizona. And if Oscar Rios commits and signs with the Wildcats, he will be the first Southern California quarterback to join Arizona since Noah Fafita. And come to find out, the Fafitas are very good friends with the Rios family. So put the connections there. And I feel pretty good about Arizona's chances of getting Mr. Oscar Rios.
It's time for Mrs. Fafita get that oven going again for those cookies and brownies.
Those cookies, brownies, Masubi rolls.
It really looks like Coach Brendan and the staff, California, Arizona, Texas, the main focus, and then kind of going out other places too. But
And Hawaii.
Yeah.
Well, they need Hawaii. That's the last infinity stone for the 26 class.
Yeah. So it'll happen.
Yeah.
But doing a great job. Everything this offseason, as far as I'm concerned, with Arizona football has been A+.
Absolutely.
Everything from community engagement to the the new hires as far as not really new on defensive end, elevating Danny Gonzalez to defensive coordinator, Seth Thagey as offensive coordinator, some of the other additions. Just everything's been the recruiting, the transfer portal, A+.
Absolutely. We'll see if they can get Oscar Rios. His commitment date is set for June 27th. So not this upcoming Friday. Next Friday is when he will announce, and we shall see if Arizona can get Mr. Oscar Rios. He's a great quarterback. Was the Gateway League MVP, one of the top Southern California prospects. If Arizona can get him, he's going to be the headliner of the group. That would be a very big get for the Wildcats.
Come on, Mrs. Fafita.
Yeah, just throw in a couple extra chocolate chips in that cookie.
Yeah. We didn't know we were getting another Bobby Olson.
Man, that was a recruiting violation. People underestimate how many recruits Bobby Olson was able to get loot with those apple cinnamon pancakes.
Yeah. Justin signed. Luke's like, I don't want you. He's like, well, I'm still signing.
Yeah. You can't keep me away from that contract.
All right, every week we are giving you a chance to win a different destination vacation for you and a friend. This week, we're giving away trips to Venice, Italy. And then all throughout the summer, we're giving you guys trips to Maui, Iceland, Japan, Portugal, and more. Listen weekdays between 7 a.m. and 6 p.m. for a keyword. And then once you hear that keyword, text it to 520-719-1490 for your chance to qualify for that week's trip. The more keywords you hear and texted, the better chance you have of winning that week's trip or cash. Me personally, I think the trip is worth it more than the $3,000. Get all the information and details by going to ESPNTucson.com. I mean, $3,000 is $3,000, but like we're talking about a free trip to Maui. Come on now.
Yeah.
Iceland?
I don't even want to talk about this anymore, man.
Portugal?
When you leave the continental United States, actually, if you leave anywhere other than a road trip for football or the state of California.
Yeah.
I mean, Justin, you'd be taking the $3,000 and you make an excuse as to why, because you're so busy, you can't go to Venice, Italy. Big 12 media days, man. Yeah. I can't miss Big 12 media days.
Yeah, the pre-press conference press conference.
Exactly. But Oscar Rios, the 4-star quarterback from California, you guys maybe don't remember the movie A River Runs Through It. I just need him to, it's Brad Pitt. It's a movie about two sons and a father, a lot of fly fishing. It's a really beautiful movie. It's really well done.
Sounds very outdoorsy.
Yeah. But I'm looking for Oscar Rios to sign with Arizona and then just truck somebody on the field. And we just start making sure Rios runs through it.
Hell yeah. I love that. All right, let's wrap up today's episode of Spears and Ali with Weird Sports Wednesday. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to Spears and Ali on ESPN Tucson. Thanks for tuning in, and great show today, Andrew. Great show. Justin, great show. You're just going to sit there with your mouth shut. Okay, good. Now, Justin had to he's got an interview at Arizona Stadium, and then he's going to cover the press conference today at 10:30, introduction of the Mexican Pacific League team moving to Tucson. It's going to be the Tucson baseball team. Great baseball coming in October.
That's
October to January.
Too.
What's that?
It's a sick jersey.
Yeah, man, I like it. I
really mess with the colors, the brown, the white, the red. It screams Old Pueblo in my mind.
It does. I was like, I saw they were like very nice to give me one with my name on the back, and I was like, I hope it fits because it's kind of cool looking. And I took it out of the bag last night. I'm like, it fits perfect. Yeah, so
that's so cool. I got to get me one of those.
Decided to rock it. So every Wednesday, Andrew Trujillo's got his own segment where he brings up something weird in sports, some weird sports Wednesday factoid.
Yeah,
you've been money.
Right,
with the what is it? The cheese
rolling,
cheese rolling, and then what was the second one?
Indian horse relay.
Indian horse relay. You've just been money, so I'm all excited and edge of my seat. For what you got today.
Well, the Stanley Cup was handed out last night to the Florida Panthers,
but
if you're a hockey fan, I know if you're a hockey fan, there's still the AHL playoffs, and then you got college hockey that's over, but there's a little more hockey for the rest of the year. But if you're really into hockey, Ali, this weekend in Thornton, Colorado, which is a suburb of Denver, apparently, is the U.S. Underwater Hockey National Championship.
Okay, I need more explanation.
So underwater hockey, otherwise known as Octopush in the UK, is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. They use a weighted puck. in usually like an Olympic sized or like, at least a competition sized pool. It's, I believe, 20 meters by 18 meters and then 10 feet deep or whatever that is, competitive pool. And the players all wear flippers, not scuba gear, but like, what's the snorkeling gear? They wear snorkels, goggles, the fins and everything. And teams of 6 compete to push the puck, the weighted puck, with tiny little hockey sticks into each other's goals. It's 2 15-minute halves, 3-minute halftime. And it's played all over the world, actually, which I didn't realize.
No, I've never even heard of it before.
But if you want to tune in, I believe it'll be on YouTube for the Underwater Hockey National Championship here in the U.S. There's also one in Canada, the U.K., Australia, and I think like 15 other countries or something like that. World Championships are every 2 years, so it'll be next year to find out who the best underwater hockey team in the world is.
Yeah, I mean, you think, you know what? We need to change the name of this segment instead of Weird Sports Wednesday. We need to change it to Things Drunk Dudes Came Up With.
I mean, you're not wrong. It was first invented by a guy in the UK to keep swimmers swimming in the winter.
Yeah, it's like every sport, everything you've brought up, whether it's a 50-degree angle and sprinting down a hill.
Yeah.
Roll it like doing somersaults after a roll of cheese,
yep,
or a horse relay, or now playing hockey under the water.
Yep,
it all originated from 2 guys sitting down drunk,
maybe
thinking it was a great idea.
Yeah,
and it caught on,
or at least just trying to make a sport that people could play indoors. Isn't that how basketball started?
I don't think. I don't know. The great Mr. Naismith. I'm not sure. Started with a peach basket, though.
Yeah,
that was the first basket. No, that started at the YMCA. Yeah, it was for kids.
Yeah.
See,
yeah. Maybe one day we'll be watching the underwater hockey championships on ESPN.
All right. Well, that's Weird Sports Wednesday for you. Thanks for tuning in to Spears and Ollie. Everybody have a fantastic day.